Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be going over a deck profile of a first place Blue Eyes deck that got first place over in Hokkaido, Japan. So this is a OCG deck profile, which means that it has a different ban list. You guys might be wondering, why the heck is Harpies Feather Duster here? Why the heck is Monster Reborn here? They have a different ban list, and in addition to that, so you guys can make it more TCG friendly, I will also give you guys suggestions to replace some of these cards with, because, obviously, if Harpies Feather Duster or Monster Reborn doesn't come off the ban list, then you're going to have 2 extra slots. So let's go ahead and jump right into the deck profile, and then we'll talk a little bit about the deck afterwards, and also while we're going through the deck, some of the more obscure cards that you guys might not be familiar with. But anyways, kind of cool to see not only Blue Eyes like kind of back in the game, but it's got great support, and in addition to that, we got that structure deck coming out pretty soon that will give us some of those cards that we need to make this deck much more powerful. And also, we will be looking forward to some of the more greater cards like Pot of Cupidity that can make other non-meta decks more meta. But anyways, let's go and jump right into it. So first off, we got 3 copies of the old school fan favorite, TV show favorite, Blue Eyes White Dragon. I think a lot of players are excited just to see this card in the game. This is actually one of my favorite artworks in the game, but you guys let me know which one's your favorite. Anyways, next up we got 3 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. And then we got the Dragon Spirit of White, only 1 copy of him. 3 copies of Max C, which is really relevant right now in the TCG and OCG. And then we got 3 copies of the White Stone of Ancients. Then we have the White Stone of Legend. 3 copies of the Sage with the Eyes of Blue. And then we have 2 copies of Effect Veiler. So that's going to round it up for our monsters. And now for our spells, we have 3 copies of Gospel Revival, which really just makes the deck. So if you guys haven't seen this card, you get to target 1 level 7 or 8 Dragon-type monster in your graveyard. You special summon it. If a Dragon-type monster or monster you control be destroyed by battle or by card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card instead. So not only do you get like a Monster Reborn for one of your cards, but on top of that, you get to protect yourself. That's probably one of like the craziest cards that has came out in the game. And I think it supports Blue Eyes super well. It comes in, I believe, the Felgran structure deck that we're getting here in the TCG really soon. Actually, in just a little bit over a week, we'll be getting this card. And then we have Harpies Feather Duster. And I know some of you guys are like, wow, dude, that's pretty crazy. How can we replace this card, though? Because, if you're playing the TCG, you guys won't have access to this card. So, cards that I can recommend for you guys to replace this card with, Trapstone is probably the more relevant card. I know it doesn't destroy the cards, but we don't have Heavy Storm in the TCG. Trapstone is probably going to be the greatest card as a replacement, simply because, first off, you don't run that many traps in the deck to begin with. And on top of that, Solemn Strike is usually activated during your opponent's turn, so Trapstone won't really hurt you too much in this deck. So that's probably one of the better ones. If you guys have any suggestions for other cards, you guys can let me know. I also like Catastrophe. That's another good card as a replacement. I think Trapstone is just better because I love the Catastrophe. Before your opponent's going to summon, they're going to Twin Twister, Space Typhoon this card, or they can use that new card, the Cosmic Cyclone. But for the most part, I find Mellow Catastrophe just to be a little bit lackluster there on the speed, and also like your opponent's going to get rid of it, and they also have to declare an attack. Maybe they don't open up good and you want to OTK them. So I really just feel like Trapstone is just a much better card. But you guys can let me know in the comment section what's another also like good replacement, because again, we don't have this card. Next up we have Pot of Cupidity. So this card is not out yet, but looking forward in the game, because you can't really build this deck quite yet. But a Pot of Cupidity, it's banished 10 cards from the top of your deck face down to draw 2 cards. You can only activate 1 per turn. But you need to be fast, especially in the TCG against those Cosmos, where sometimes they just beat you in like 1 turn. You need that speed, so Pot of Cupidity plus the triple copy of Trade-In, really good in combination with each other. And then we got, of course, 3 copies of Trade-In, and then we got the 2 copies of Dragon Shrine, so it's kind of like a double foolish, so to speak. And then we have 3 copies of the Melody of Awakening Dragon. Again, you gotta go fast, as Sonic would say here, because again, against the meta, you have to just be able to compete and be really consistent and fast, because this deck, if you didn't have all this draw power, you would clog your hand relatively quick. And then we have the 1 copy of Soul Charge, and then we have the 1 Monster Reborn. Now, I know we don't have Monster Reborn here in the TCG, so you could try Call of the Hundreds if you want. I feel like 3 Gospel Revival is really great, but I feel like Silver's Cry is probably the best I know this one can only target a normal monster in your graveyard, but the thing is, you can overlay, you can do whatever you want. There's no like downsides. It doesn't like destroy at the end of the turn. You have to banish it. You can only activate one of them per turn. I understand Monster Reborn is much better, but again, we don't have that in the TCG. If there's any other dragon support, I know there's a card called Swing of Memories. You special summon one normal monster from your graveyard, and it's destroyed at the end phase of this turn. But I find this deck to be able to OTK your opponent relatively easy, so that downside doesn't really matter. And because Silver Cries has that effect that you can only activate one of them per turn, it's also quick play, which makes it really excellent. But the thing is, you can only activate one per turn. So maybe if you really want to, you can drop the Monster Reborn. Or if you can't play it, obviously is more likely the case. Swing of Memory could be an okay card. Again, it just allows you to use Silver's Cry and then Swing of Memories. Where if you just doubled up on Silver's Cry, you wouldn't be able to utilize like double of them in one turn. So that can be a factor. You guys let me know if there's any other like obscure like dragon cards that I just don't know of. Then let you just special summon a dragon. And then we have 3 copies of the Solemn Strike, or Solemn Notice, as it's called in the OCG. For the extra deck, there's some cards that I was like, what the heck is this? I've never even heard of this guy before. The Gigant T-Castle over here, so is a level 9, and any deck can make it. But it gains 200 attack and defense for each non-tuner synchro monster used to synchro summon this card. I felt like maybe this was just a bigger beater. I really had no idea why he busted out this card. Majority of the time, I'm sure you're going to be making other things, but for whatever reason, if you can make this card to maybe just get, I don't know, I mean, I'm thinking of like 3100 attack. I don't know, maybe you just need to run over something for mirror match or for whatever the case may be. I really have no idea why he ran this card. Next up we have the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, which I believe came like the structure, the dragon, the Blue Eyes like starter deck or something like that a while ago. But anyways, or structure deck I should say. Next up we have 2 copies of the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, so this lets you basically make whatever you want. Another one of those fan favorite cards. And then we got the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which I think is like one of the best cards in the game. Like this card can get really nasty, especially against decks that have like a once per turn, like they can only like summon one thing they can activate, and if they get negated there's no follow-up play. This could be an excellent card. If you make it, you just like win the game. I know a lot of you guys have been playing Dragoonies, and like you make this, sometimes you just like win the game. Then next up we have the Stardust Spark Dragon. One excellent like easy combo if you guys maybe don't want to, you can't play the Harpies, Feather Duster or whatever. Vanity's Emptiness plus this card is like almost like you can win against some people, so like excellent little combo there. Then we have the Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, excellent card against like mirror match as well. Then we have number 95 Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. Excellent card, you get to Foolish multiple times, is excellent. Then we have Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon. Then we have number 62 Galaxy Eyes Prime Dragon. This card has a long effect, but I figured some of these more obscure cards that I haven't really talked about on my channel will go over their effects. So 2 level 8s, so basically double Blue Eyes. And then if this card attacks or is attacked during damage calc in either player's turn, you can detach 1 material from this card. Once per battle, it gains attack equal to the combined range of all X-Blazing monsters currently on the field times 200, and during that damage calculation only, if this card and its owner's control is destroyed by opponent's card effect, while it has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon's material, which you're not going to have anyway, so don't even bother for that effect. But it's a decent little card. You can boost it up to more attack. Then we have number 46, so 2 Blue Eyes, once per turn. If you control no monster, you attach 1 material from this card that activates one of these effects. So you get to special summon 1 Dragon type monster from your hand. I thought it was interesting that there was no Red Eyes Darkness Metal in the beginning, but now that I'm looking at it, you don't really need it because you want to utilize these cards. Yeah, you can of course banish it and then summon that and then summon Blue Eyes, but you really don't need that because you have number 46 for that awesome effect. You can just special summon one. But there's other effects. So you get to target 1 Dragon type monster your opponent controls, and you get to take control over that target. So really great card mirror match also. Then it's got another effect. So Dragon type monsters your opponent controls cannot activate their effects until the end of your opponent's turn. So that's really good. It's like it's a dragon that counters like dragons, so to speak. I think that's pretty awesome. If you really want to counter dragons, actually, there's a really cool card called Victoria. And her effect is once per turn, you select one dragon type monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon that to your side of the field, and your opponent cannot select another fairy type monster as an attack target. But just an excellent card, just summon whatever you want. You can just summon this, summon a Blue Eyes. That's pretty cool. Again, it's for mirror match. Next up, we have Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. So once per turn, attach material from this card, target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Other monsters your opponent cannot attack directly for the rest of the turn. Also take control of that target until the end phase. But its effects are negated and its attack becomes 3,000, and its name becomes Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. So that's kind of cool. Definitely a decent little card there. Then we have the number 38 that I pretty much think everyone is seeing. This card is really good. And then we have the Sylvans over here. We have the Alcé, and then we have the Princess Sprite. As far as the side deck, I really like the Ally of Justice Cycle Reader. So during either player's turn, you can discard this card, remove from play up to 2 light monsters from your opponent's graveyard. So that's really awesome effect because it's during either player's turn, and again, great in the mirror match. I guess Blue Eyes, it has been doing like quite well in the OCG. I've seen a lot of like random stuff. Like heroes are still like relevant once in a while, but I think it's because they love that deck so much. There's always a lot of people playing it, so there's a higher pool of players playing it. You know, it will top. But you know, a Cycle Reader, pretty sweet card. Then we got triple DeeDee. You can see it. The negation is real in the graveyard. Then we got the Dark Hole, the Cosmic Cyclone, Double Twin Twister. Triple copies of Swords of Concealing Light. I honestly don't know why, but you guys can let me know why perhaps they are playing this card. And then we have 3 copies of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. I was thinking along the lines of negating monsters effects. So you're gonna flip them all face down. You can prevent things like Curstia or just anything that's trying to stun you, because you know this card can get kind of annoying too. So just being able to play everything face down can be nice, but I don't know if there's a certain like combo with this that makes this really good if they're face down. I don't know, like some kind of piercing, like, I don't know, combo that people maybe are setting up for, because I know that there's the Chaos, you know, the Chaos Max, the movie card. You can flip them all face down on a piercing for double. I don't know, they're kind of cool. But anyways, that is it for the Blue Eyes OCG deck profile. If you guys want to download it, I'll leave the YDK file down below in the description box. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you have any suggestions for this deck as well that we can make improvements on. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you guys give that like button a titty slap. And I'm signing out.